What's going on, guys? It's your boy Splashman. I'm back with a video today. I got a special guest. Got my homie Trillsteen, homie slash mentor slash friend slash a lot of cool things. Today what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about, I guess, his expertise, which is really productivity and focus. He's helped me a lot with productivity, focus, and just making my mind more clear, which I think is actually shifted my life in a positive way. And I really wanted him, I actually wanted to collab with him back in Miami, but timing didn't work.
10x,
10x, man.
Got in the way.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so today we're actually gonna record, it's gonna be better because he's got more information, and I'm a testimonial for his product or knowledge, because it's really shifted my life in a better direction. So introduce yourself to the people.
Sure, so my name is Michael Trillsteen. Trillsteen's the nickname and I'm rolling with it. I work with a bunch of big time social media influencers with millions of followers. I run live events with one of my mentors, our mentor, Brandon Carter. And on top of that, the main thing I teach people is how to use your internet and phone strategically and intentionally so you can get tangible benefits, such as making world-class connections with whoever you want to work with. Let's say it's a New York Times bestselling author, maybe it's a professional athlete. How to network and use social media for your benefit as opposed to on Instagram all day watching Netflix. And I think that the issue of using social media, the internet and phone, I call it IPA, internet phone addiction, when you misuse it, you can really, really mess up your life and mess up your happiness. I mean, I don't have to tell you, I can tell you the stats, which is that iGen, the generation after millennials, have tripled the suicide and depression rates. Damn. And that's number one of all time, only second to millennials. So the shit is just getting worse.
Damn.
And the common thread is our constant addiction to our phones, and it's making us less able to communicate to humans. It's making us sadder, more depressed. And again, what I tell people is I don't want people to quit it completely, because I mean, it's the reason you're watching this, it's the reason we know each other, it's the reason I've made connections with some top-level, world-class people. I went to a basketball game with Mark Manson, the author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up, thanks to my ability to network and use social media for my benefit. But that's through systematically and strategically and intentionally using it so that I don't get distracted by all the nonsense that Zuckerberg and everybody else is throwing in our face.
Yeah, quick thing before we start this, I guess one thing I would recommend to people that are watching this video is get a book called Digital Minimalism. He actually recommended it.
Book changed my life, man.
Oh, honestly, it's one of the best books I've read in 2019 so far. So before we go into the teaching, I would recommend you literally get that book right now.
Get that book right now.
It will change your life. But people want to know, how can they get more focused? How can they be more productive, right? Get a clear mind. And as you said, use social media for you, not so it hurts you, kind of, So give them some tips.
Sure.
Anything that you think will help them become a better person, basically.
I think the main idea is you can't go into social media blind, right? You can't just log into Instagram, log into YouTube and say, see what happens. That's what I used to do. And what happens is you're scrolling on IG way longer than you thought. What you meant for me to 10 minutes takes an hour. You're like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm watching these girls twerking, or I'm on YouTube and I'm like 6 videos into like a JFK conspiracy. I mean, if you're a history weirdo like me, like maybe instead you're watching a bunch of PewDiePie or video game walkthroughs. I mean, it's insane. The options are limitless. The dopamine rushes we can get like quickly. It's insane. The temptation is so strong, and the algorithms and these social medias know what we like. They'll literally show you what they are paying millions and millions of dollars to get us addicted to these platforms.
Yeah.
So to go into the shit blind, you're virtually guaranteeing that you're gonna end up wasting time. So the main principle is just go in with a plan, man. Like, if you're gonna go into YouTube, gonna go into Facebook, Instagram, like, this shit is a war. It's a goddamn war for your attention, and right now we are collectively losing. We are losing time, attention, focus, and yeah, that's the main idea that I would say. You want to log in with sort of a battle plan, because there's tons of stats I could give you and things that they do. Like, for example, the like button. I know this is getting people riled up recently. I did a post on it actually, but basically, the like button didn't exist when Facebook first came out. Facebook owns Instagram. So Facebook and Instagram, they didn't have the like button initially. And that meant that it was just a passive platform. It was just implied that when you saw a picture of your cousin or your baby cousin that you liked it, right? You didn't have to hit a button to say, oh, I really appreciate you having reproductive organs. That's dope. And when they did that, it suddenly became an interactive platform where it became what Cal Newport calls in the book intermittent positive reinforcement, which means every time you log on to Instagram, you don't always have likes and messages, but you do sometimes. And when you have those rewards intermittently, it's more addicting than if you got them all the time. And the reason we know this is they tested this on pigeons where they had like a little button, and they tested, all right, if they click the button every time and they get food, will that be more addicting than if they get it like sometimes when they click it? And the dopamine levels on the pigeons were triple when they got it sometimes. And it's like dating, man. Like,
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Holy shit. Because you don't know when you're going to get it.
Yeah, man. So
that's what you keep... Damn.
So like well, let me ask you another question. If you go to Vegas, if people won every time they hit the slot machine, would that be more or less addicting than if it's intermittent? And we know it's intermittent. That's 100%. More exciting.
Yeah, that's what makes it exciting because you don't know if you're gonna.
Exactly, and I was gonna say, like in dating, man, like who's the girl gonna be more interested in? The guy that responds to every text and messages her all the time, or the dude that's kind of mysterious and you don't know when she's gonna message? Like it's the same fucking thing.
It's the same.
So as Cal says, because I want to give where credit's due, is when you log into social media, Instagram, Facebook, you are literally pulling the lever of a slot machine, hoping to get some likes, hoping to get some comments, hoping to get to some DMs. And when you don't, you end up pulling the lever again. And the more you do that, the more attention, time, and money you lose.
Wow. Man, that's some crazy shit, right? As I said before, read the book. But I know, Trill, like, you know, one thing I like about you is you provide people with tactics, like little ninja things.
Ninja tactics.
Or ninja tactics. It's just normal everyday thing they can do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to be aware of it, but what are some tips that you can give people that can be helpful for them to kind of go less on it and use it for them, and, you know, not, I guess, like you said, and like not get sucked in by social media in general?
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna drop AOB on them. Is that okay?
Do it.
Okay, so AOB, the idea is essentially we're never alone anymore. Right? We're never alone anymore. We're constantly being stimulated. And the first thing that really made us constantly stimulated was when the iPod first came out.
Yeah.
Because it was the first time in history where you could be going anywhere and be listening to music or a podcast. Because generally speaking, most people are not going to be scrolling on Instagram, walking across the street. Some people do. But for the most part, most people became like listening to their headphones and constantly being stimulated when the iPod came out, and people with the wireless headphones and such. And the reason this is a problem is if we're constantly stimulated, our brain is never in true solitude.
Yeah.
And the reason true solitude's important is because when your brain is not working on a cognitive task, that's when the real solutions to problems come. That's why Steve Jobs used to walk everywhere during his meetings. Like, that's when having solitude where your brain's not thinking, that's when you tend to come up with answers. Like, if you've ever lost some shit and then you weren't thinking about it and then you remembered where it was, that's when you have solitude, right?
Yeah,
but at the same time, having solitude also makes your brain default to your most important social relationships. And we know this because they've tested it on babies. As human beings, we're hardwired to think of our most important social relationships. So again, if we don't have solitude and we're constantly stimulated, we never have those moments where we can let our brain just rest and then come up with solutions and also think of those important social relationships that we need to reach out to, then we suddenly have this constant feedback loop that prevents us from getting clarity and focus.
Yeah.
So the way you give yourself more solitude is what I like to call AOB. And what it stands for is airplane off bag.
Yeah.
So basically what this means, like if you're to walk outside, Splashman, with full intentions of not checking your phone, of not texting, you're like, I just want to walk, but your phone is in your pocket, and you get notifications and vibrates. Like you're setting yourself up to fail, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's like being like a monk and saying I'm not gonna have sex with any woman, and you walk into a whorehouse. Like you're setting yourself up.
You're setting yourself up for failure.
You know what I mean? You're like you say I'm not gonna eat any food, and you walk into a Shake Shack. Like you're setting yourself up for failure. So what you should do instead is set yourself up for success. Is what I like to call AOB, airplane off bag. So when you're commuting to work, you're walking to school, you're gonna be somewhere for maybe 30 minutes or so. Take your phone, put it in airplane mode. That's the first step. Second step is to turn it off. The third step is to put it in your book bag, right? Or whatever bag you may have. A girl might put it in her purse, right?
Yeah.
And now when you walk outside, you're giving yourself 3 layers to fail. Because you're walking outside, and you're like, oh shit, I wanna check my phone. But oh fuck, it's not in my pocket, it's in my goddamn bag. Hey, yet another reminder to your brain.
That's the biggest part.
Bro, don't look at your phone. And again, even if you fail that test, now you gotta dig in your bag and find the shit. Again, you have more time. Like,
another reminder.
Hey bro, don't look at your phone. And even if you grab it, it's off. Yet another reminder, hey, you're not supposed to look at your phone, remember? And even if you turn the thing on,
it's on airplane mode.
Bam. So you're giving yourself more chances to fail and therefore succeed.
I like that a lot because when you actually do that, you would realize how addicted you are because your brain will come up with like the craziest excuses to check your phone. I gotta text this guy. I gotta let him what time I'm gonna get there. I gotta let him I'm one stop away. Yo, I gotta do this. Oh man, I gotta reply to that email, right? And yo, it's crazy. And then you realize like how addicted you are. And like you said, like the 3 layers, like there's more because you have to dig in. It's off in your bag, airplane mode. That's a constant reminder. So just having that is so important because trust me, if it's just in your pocket, there's no way you're not gonna check it. It's honestly it's impossible. I really think it's impossible. Like the way we're so addicted now, it's literally impossible for us to do that. And I like that he addresses this problem because people don't see it as a problem only because everyone has this problem. It's the craziest part, right? It's so normalized now because everyone is addicted to social media. And you might not notice it, but like you said, it's making you lazy, you can't focus, and you're getting depressed because for the most part, man, on social media, you're not, like, unless, you can be doing some business stuff, but for the most part, you're looking at how other people's life and how good their life is. But in reality, it's never like that, right? Social media, like it's always skewed. You know what I'm saying? So like, I really like what he's teaching. If you guys really want, like, I honestly think you guys should follow his page because his page is one of the dopest pages out right now. It's growing and he has some amazing content. He actually like takes his time to create it. So check it out. He has so much more tactics, so much more stuff on not only like, social media and stuff, but just life. And it's very, very helpful. So yo, Trillsteen, thank you for coming on, being this channel, man.
I really appreciate it, brother. That. And if it's cool with you,
of course it's cool, man.
If you guys do indeed follow me at Trillsteen. Just for Splashman's followers, if you DM me the word focus, I will send you my top 3 tips on how to use social media to increase your income, influence, and overall happiness and prevent you from being distracted, sad, or letting it become a legit problem. So using it for your benefit and not the top corporations. I'll give you my top 3 tips for that. You DM me the word focus.
Oh yeah, I would say do it because in this noisy world, if you are focused, you will come out on top. Like your competitors are because they're always on your phone.
Did you see the way I was able to pitch that in the middle of burping? Were you like impressed? Yeah. I thought I played that pretty smooth.
Hey man,
I don't think everybody caught it.
I caught when you did it. I caught it. You know what I'm saying? That was cool.
Let me tell you my top 3 tips. Yeah.
And he still went on with it. But yo, guys, thank you for watching this video. Filmed it on the iPhone, not in the G7X. We're in downtown Brooklyn.
Keep it tight one time.
Keep it tight one time. Shout out to you guys for watching it. Follow him at Trillsteen. DM him the word focus. And trust me, guys, like, making some changes will make a big difference in your life. I really, truly believe it. But yeah, thank you again, Trillsteen.
Thanks, man.
I'll see you guys later.
Appreciate it.